help doctors, lawyers, and small business owners navigate divorce with confidence. Call us at Cordell & Cordell. Let me tell you, I understand on a personal level, your business is much more than a job. It's your legacy.
1221 N Street, Lincoln. CordellCordell.com.
Gaina Trucking is hiring CDL Class A and B drivers. Their strong team culture makes it not a job, but a career. Gaina Trucking offers health, vision, and dental insurance, 401k with company match, an employee assistance program, and other bonus programs. Build a better career today with great team culture at Gaina Trucking. Learn more and apply today at GainaTrucking.com.
Take control of your health with the DASH scan at Advanced Medical Imaging. The DASH scan is a full-body MRI designed for advanced health screening. This dynamic approach provides exceptionally sharp images across multiple organ systems, helping to detect potential concerns early. With minimal radiation and no invasive procedures, the DASH scan offers a safe, comprehensive look at your health. Plus, results are delivered faster than ever, giving both patients and physicians confidence in screening and diagnosis. Your health is too important to wait. Schedule your DASH scan today at Advanced Medical Imaging. Visit amimaging.com or call 402-484-6677 to learn more.
Lincoln's new craft cocktail lounge is Bar 48 in Lincoln. Located at 2639 North 48th Street, Bar 48 offers everything from cocktails to beer to wine and so much more. With summer right around the corner, you can always enjoy Bar 48's frozen beverages. Follow them on Facebook to stay up to date on their live music performances every Saturday night. Make plans to visit Bar 48 on North 48th Street in the heart of the University Place neighborhood today.
Garage doors can break down or quit working at the worst times. At Doors Plus, they understand that a broken garage door sometimes means repair and not replace. Sometimes, all you need to make your door like new again is a few bolts, a realignment, or even a new balance. Trust the pros at Doors Plus to handle your garage door repair the right way so you can get on with your busy schedule. Visit them online at DoorsPlusLLC.com or give them a call today at 402-590-5800. Doors Plus. Garage doors and more.
Your sprinklers are watering the street or flooding your backyard. If you're on a list that doesn't exist, it's time for Judson Irrigation. At Judson Irrigation, Lee or Lacey or Judson will make an appointment. You pick a time and they'll be there to fix your sprinkler system. Now that's service, a dying art these days.
Keep summer green. Call Judson Irrigation 402-420-6277 or judsonirrigation.com.
93.7 The Ticket is your home for every Kansas City Royals baseball game. Bobby Witt Jr., Salvador Perez, Vinny Pasquantino, and the rest of the Royals attempt to make the postseason for the second season in a row. And you can hear all the action on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Your home for Kansas City Royals baseball.
Rosie's Sports Bar and Grill, open for lunch and dinner at 1501 Center Park Road, just south of 14th and Highway 2.
This is the Adam Carriker Show.
Position right of the quarterback, out of the shotgun, 1st and 20. Jailbreak screen in the air. It is tipped. It is intercepted by Carriker at the Missouri 21-yard line.
Live from the heart of Lincoln, America, 8-year NFL vet and All-American defensive lineman Adam Carriker.
Shotgun snap to Everett. He's got the left arm going, and now he's got a whole lot of Adam Carriker who rips him down inside the 25-yard line.
On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Here is your host, Adam Carriker.
Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen, to the Adam Carriker Show. It's a dreary, drizzly Friday edition of this show here on 93.7 The Ticket. It is a loaded show. It is a 1-hour show, 11 a.m. to noon. It's like they're going to play actual sports at some point today. I don't know, Nebraska softball versus Tennessee. Although that is this evening, 6 o'clock Central Time. All right, if you're so inclined to tune in, which I hope you are, ESPN2, you can watch it and or check it out on Huskers Radio. They're going to take on in a best-of-3 series. Nebraska softball going to take on Tennessee. Again, a team they already beat earlier this season. It was the first game of the year back in February, so it was a while ago. It was a minute ago. All right, but 6 p.m. Also, Jackson, I hope your head doesn't explode because mine might. Nebraska baseball also plays at 6 p.m. Central Time. You got to have that previous channel button working really well tonight. They're on the Big Ten Network, also Huskers Radio. They take on Oregon. All right, Jackson, we got a loaded show as always. But when you look at the softball end of things, start with that. You got a pitcher's duel right here. Two of the best in the country. All right, Carlin Pickens of Tennessee, 22-8 record, taking on Jordy Ball of Nebraska, 25-6 record. Now, Pickens' ERA is absurd because Jordy's is ridiculous. All right, Jordy's is 1.5 ERA. All right, and you look at Pickens here. Let's see, I had to double check just to make sure. 0.90. She struck out 252 batters this year. Jordy's actually struck out a smidge more at 270 batters. This could be like a 1-0 type game, 2-1 type game. As we look ahead to softball, baseball, and don't worry, we're going to give a whole lot of Nebraska football updates, changes to the college football playoff, and we might even throw out, well, let's just talk about it real quick. All right, Western Conference Finals, Minnesota gets mollywopped again by OKC. OKC clearly looks like the better team. They have the league MVP. They've got home court throughout the playoffs. Is this series over? It's only 2-0, but is it over?
If they go down 3-0 here in the next game, there's no coming back from that with OKC. So yeah, if OKC can pull out this next game in Minnesota, yeah, it's over.
I'm declaring it over. I mean, the difference last night was what, about 15 points? It felt like it was about 50 points. At least I was told. Okay, there were some other folks who paid a smidge more attention to it than I did, but we kind of keep your eye on things like, oh, it's not that bad. Oh, wait, other people are telling you it's way worse than it actually was. But you look at softball, you look at baseball. We'll talk football here in just a smidge. College football playoffs being adjusted in just a bit as well. Softball, baseball. Start with softball. You look at this pitching matchup. All right, what do you foresee happening Friday, Saturday, possibly Sunday, if we need that third game when we play Tennessee there, Jackson?
I mean, I'm hoping it's just a repeat of what it was earlier this season. Nebraska could pull out a win against Tennessee. I know Tennessee's been a pretty good team all year, but Nebraska is a different team now than they were the last time they played, and so is Tennessee. So it can be an entirely different game than what it was the last time that these two met up earlier in the season. So I'm excited to see this crazy duel that will be Tennessee and Nebraska with obviously Jordy Ball. Always fun to watch her play, so it'll be fun to watch.
Yeah, so the first game of the year, Thursday, February 6th, number 19 Nebraska at the time took on number 6 Tennessee. The score was 7-1. Nebraska obviously had the advantage on that particular day. All right, but as you mentioned, it was a while ago. Weather was a lot different. All right, by the way, okay, random off the wall question. Do you like rainy days?
I love rainy days.
I actually do too.
It's the Florida in me.
It is I didn't even think about that.
It's the Florida in me.
All right, I like that.
Personally, yeah, I love it when it's like, I don't know. I don't know what it is. I love the rain.
I actually like rainy days as well. I just like when weather varies. Now, you look at the softball top 25 right now, Tennessee is third in the country. All right, Texas A&M, they're already out. Okay, the first number one overall seed in history, the softball postseason NCAA tournament, to not get out of the regional. Their baseball team also had a little bit of a down year as well. I think they were preseason number one, finished 14th in the SEC, so not quite the way they wanted things to go down there. They were number one at the end of the year. Oklahoma, number two, four-time defending national champs. No shocker there. Tennessee finished third in the country. So it's going to be a difficult task.
Oh, yeah.
But, man, just remind people, Nebraska won their 3 regional games by a combined score of 32-4. So they are rolling. They are playing their best ball of the year. All right, excuse me, to your point. Now, I got a question for the people out there. It's only an hour show, so if you're going to respond, you got to respond quick today. The internet is a tough place, and I'll tell you what. A week ago, there was 2 firestorms going on in Nebraska internet land. Should Scott Frost be talked about? Okay, that was a big one. The other one was the great hot dog ketchup debate. So somebody talked about the fans versus the media, and should Frost be talked about, should he not? And then at the end of it, he goes, the real debate is hot dogs or mustard on ketchup. And he goes, I'm a mustard guy. And I basically responded and said, this is a travesty. I will not stand for this. This is abhorrent. Ketchup on hot dogs all day long. And it just took off from there. It was it was low key, one of the funnest exchanges I've had on Twitter land in quite a while. A bunch of people chimed in. There was a bunch of fun GIFs. I found this one GIF with this hot dog. You just dunk it into a whole barrel of ketchup and start eating it. And I used that several times. I think some people were mortified by that, but I was making my point. So here's what I want to know. Ladies and gentlemen, fine folks that are tuning in right now, What's that text line number there, Jackson?
402-464-5685.
It never changes, but just in case you didn't know and/or forgot, there's the number. Text in. Ketchup on hot dogs, yes or no? If you want to be lengthier, what do you put on it if it is not ketchup? Mustard should be illegal, in my opinion. Ooh. Okay, then some people started talking about chili and cheese. That's a chili dog. That's a different conversation, okay? All right, I love chili dogs, but that is a different conversation. For me, hot dogs is ketchup. And a bunch of ketchup, and if you want more ketchup. Now, some people were like, try salsa. I love Mexican food. I might give that a whirl. Mayonnaise. I'm a mayonnaise guy, especially on hamburgers. I'm open-minded here. But I just want to know, ketchup on hot dogs, yes or no? If it's not ketchup, what do you put on it? What do you put on your hot dog?
I like ketchup.
All right.
But I also like sauerkraut.
I haven't had it that much. What's it taste like?
I know, it's a little different. I wouldn't put ketchup with the sauerkraut.
Okay.
But yeah. It's just, I don't know how to describe it. Tastes very similar. Maybe text line could chime in and tell me what sauerkraut is. I'm German. I probably should know that, but I don't personally know what sauerkraut is. It's similar to cabbage to me.
Okay.
And maybe it is cabbage. This is something I don't know. But yeah, I think it's great. That's one of my go-tos, either ketchup or sauerkraut. Definitely not mustard, but
dude, mustard. They even did a poll. One guy even put a poll up on Twitter, and mustard beat ketchup. It's been a long time since I've been that disappointed.
The text line says,
all right, what do we got?
Ketchup.
Amen.
Well, ketchup is the most overrated condiment from Tim AV.
All right, put a name to that. We got to call this person out.
Tim AV.
Tim AV. Most overrated condiment?
Tim AV?
How dare you, sir? I hope you have a mildly, slightly above average weekend.
Ketchup. Someone said cabbage.
Straight cabbage?
Someone said.
Oh, that's what it's like.
Unknown
Sauerkraut's
texter,
like cabbage. Okay.
Unknown texter said, put pepperoni, mozzarella cheese, and marinara sauce on your hot dog. Interesting.
Do they just like pizza? Or I'm okay with that. But...
You ever had a pizza burger? Those are good.
I have not had a pizza burger.
Pizza burgers are great. But just ketchup.
Okay.
I'll put whatever. I'll put whatever you say on them if we win 9 games.
Hey, I could get down with that. Now, I'll put mustard on it if we win 9 games. This person
didn't put their name.
I can do that.
But I really hope they're kidding. Unknown texture 8194 says grape jelly. I gotta hope that that's a joke.
That is so off the wall. I don't think it is.
Yeah,
It's like when somebody is explaining their side of something or why they did something or something that happened, and it's so off the wall that there's no way they could have possibly made it up. It has to be true. That's what I feel about that response.
Bill and Bennett says, I don't care about Scott Frost, and mustard is my choice for hot dogs.
I appreciate the honesty.
Here's another off the.
It's blasphemous, though.
Tim AV coming back said plain mac and cheese or cream cheese and pepper jelly.
Hold on. Mac and cheese and pepper jelly at the same time? That can't be at the same time.
Plain mac and cheese or cream cheese.
Or okay.
There is punctuation. I might not have read it correctly, but there is punctuation.
All right. I was like, mac and cheese and jelly?
Scott and Lincoln with fermented cabbage. Hot dogs are like Bloody Marys. Everything goes.
So I think one guy did get a little too serious with it in his response. He did this whole lengthy thing, and I appreciated it. But he's like, it's okay. You can believe in what you want to believe in. You can put whatever you want on it. You have the freedom in America to put whatever you want. And at first, I thought he was being facetious. And then the more I read it, I was like, I think he thinks we're serious about this. No. Look at the gifts. We're clearly joking. But it was so funny. He was so into we all have the freedom to choose what we want on our hot dog. Still to this day, I'm not sure if he was being facetious or not, but I think he was because he seemed a little too serious with all the exclamation points he was using.
Yeah. That's pretty much it, though. Oh, yeah, the grape jelly. Unknown texter came back and said, not a joke. Tried it. It's amazing. Grape jelly. I can't say that would be my first one. I saw somebody in here also say barbecue sauce. That one makes a little bit more sense. I could see it. I've never done it, but I could see it.
Dude, barbecue sauce goes with almost anything.
That's what I'm saying. It can really go with anything. And someone also said ranch. I know texter said ranch. I can't see that one either, but again, I kind of feel similar to barbecue sauce. I can see it. It's just not where my brain goes when I go to the hot dog.
As more people chime in, let us know. So it seems like people are saying sauerkraut reminds them of cabbage. We had a couple of those.
That's kind of, I've seen cabbage in there. So I don't know if people are associating cabbage with sauerkraut. It very well.
I think
sauerkraut could just be a different word for cabbage. That I do not know.
So I've never tried sauerkraut. It looked weird to me. I don't know how else to. It just looked weird. And then the name, it just didn't endear itself to me. I'll try anything once.
Sauerkraut.
I'll tell you what, I so dislike mustard, it should be illegal. Like, in my opinion, it should be illegal. All right. I am open to trying the jelly.
Here we go.
Hold on. I'm open to trying the jelly. I am open to trying barbecue sauce. The mac and cheese. I don't know about. Actually, there are. There's like a corn salad or a corn mac and cheese salad that my in-laws make. If you just chopped up hot dogs and threw it in there, I would imagine it'd be really good. So why couldn't the reverse also be decent? I'll try anything, but mustard should be illegal. All right, what you got, man?
Yeah, the next one came through. Sauerkraut is just pickled cabbage.
Okay.
Pickle.
That's good to know.
Cabbage.
All right. If more people chime in, let me know. All right. Softball, 6 p.m. tonight. Check it out. ESPN 2, or Huskers Radio. Take it on at Tennessee, a premier pitching matchup. So Jordy Ball right now is one of 4 players in history, you probably heard this, to be in the 2020 club. She already has 25 wins as a pitcher. Now, this is so crazy to say. She only needs 2 more home runs. The way she's hitting home runs right now, you just figure she's going to hit like 10 in the next game. But it's crazy. What was it? 12 out of 12? She had 12 at-bats and got on base 12 times.
I think
with like 3 or 4 or 5 home runs.
I think I've seen in her entire career in the tournament, she's either been walked or she's homered.
Is that what her entire career? That's what it was. That's
in
what
her
it was.
entire career
Yes.
in the tournament, she's either been walked or if she actually gets to swing the bat and gets a hit, it's a homer.
She's also scored a school record 69 runs. A school record in home runs for 23.
Jordy Ball.
and so, Mike, do you think she'll hit the 25-25 club? She doesn't even have to win another game. Obviously, as a team as a whole, we'd like her to win a couple of more games because she'll probably pitch today and tomorrow. But will she hit 2 more home runs to get to the 25-25 club? And she may only get 3 games to do it, or even 2.
I think it's definitely possible. I would never. I'm never gonna say Jordy Ball can't do what Jordy Ball does because it's Jordy Ball.
Here's what I'm gonna say, because she's facing an ace. I mean, not that they didn't face good pitchers at the regional.
Yeah, that's also my thought too.
Somehow. Well, not somehow. We didn't get to play LSU, the number 1 seed. Do you know LSU only had a 500 record in conference, and they got the number 1 seed and hosted a regional?
Yeah,
that was crazy to me.
Yeah, it was what, Southeastern Louisiana
Yep.
beat them twice.
Yep. That was crazy to me. All right, so here's what I predict. If they move to the College World Series, she'll get to 25. If they don't get out of the Super Regional, my gut tells me she won't, simply because the opposing pitcher is so good. And you can't just keep mollywhopping well, she can, technically. You can do anything, almost, technically. But I just don't see it happening. But the way she's hitting, you never know. All right, move on to baseball. I don't even know. Did Oregon win when they played in their first game of the Big Ten tournament? I didn't even pay attention.
Did they play, or was it?
Yeah, Michigan State. They would have played Michigan State. Do you know if they won? They did?
They probably. I mean, I didn't see anything about an upset because that would have been a pretty major upset. So I imagine they did, but I don't know.
So
it was a game that was pretty much irrelevant, though. So
yeah. So Oregon did.
Yeah, 4-2. There it is.
Down Michigan State. So pretty much the winner of the game tonight is moving on to the semifinals of the Big Ten tournament. We'll win our pool.
Just don't understand the pool thing.
Well, Michigan State's pretty much going to be 0-2.
Why did Michigan State have to play that game, though?
We're not going to discuss the format. I don't want to discuss the format.
Okay. I don't get it.
So pretty much the winner of Nebraska, Oregon is going to move on, it seems like, into the Big Ten tournament, into the semifinals. So if you think about it, we're realistically only about 3 games away from only, guys, it's so easy to win the Big Ten championship. No matter what they've done, they fought, they scratched, they clawed. It wasn't the season as a whole that they wanted, but they never gave up, and they kept fighting, even when they were down 4-1. I believe it was 4-1 on Monday to Michigan State. They fought their way all the way back and won the game in extra innings. All right. And the missed fly ball by the outfielder from Michigan State, that was a little bit of payback for us punting the wrong direction to the Michigan State football team and then returning it for a touchdown a few years ago. So what goes around comes around, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, no kidding. That's a good way to look at that. I hadn't really thought about that punt in a long time.
Yeah, I'm sorry I brought it up. It's okay, though. All right. So I've talked about this a couple of times. The Colorado Rockies having a rather rough season. All right, they're on pace to lose 134 games. They got clobbered by the Phillies a day or two ago. Now, you look at the worst teams of all time, worst record through 47 games. Now, when it comes to straight up major league teams that we're familiar with now, the Oakland, the 2024 White Sox, the Colorado Rockies are on a significantly worse pace. Like they're going to win significantly less games than the White Sox team from a year ago, which won the least amount of games in Major League Baseball history. But if you dig a little deeper, I mean, I'm talking 1800s here. Okay.
Yeah.
The 2025 Rockies through 47 games are 8-39, which is, again, far exceeds any Major League Baseball team in history. So you keep going back. The 1889 Colonels were also 8-39.
The Colonels.
We're talking like, good Lord, almost a century and a half. The 1884 Unions were 7-40. The 1895 Colonels, apparently not a very good, which is why they're not around anymore, were 7-40, and the Red Stockings were 6-41 in 1876. That is the type of company that the Rockies are in right now. To be clear, I'm not trying to make fun of them. It's history we're watching.
Yeah, either way.
If they were on pace to win 150 games, I'd be talking about it too. It'd be a slightly more upbeat tone, but you get my point. It's history.
Yeah, it's still history either way.
It's astonishing. I've been to several Rockies games over the years. It's a beautiful park. Actually, very passionate fans. Those fans kind of deserve better. It's one of the most gorgeous ballparks I've ever seen in my life. I hope they get it straightened out a little bit. I'm not even a Rockies fan. To me, it's just overall history, unlike anything what we've ever seen here. All right, a couple of quick updates. In general, as we know, summer construction is going on. They're replacing the panels on the Memorial Stadium video board, complete restructuring of the grass practice fields, and new stadium turf are all going on right now. So there's going to be red in the end zones. Okay, outside the out-of-bounds lines, inside, etc. And so there's a little bit of concern that, what was it, Purdue?
Yeah, that's exactly where my head was going.
Which is the only time I can think of that this ever happened. So it was pretty bad. It was pretty obvious. It's very recent, so it's in people's mind. But I can't think of another time it happened where he kind of lost track of where he was inbounds, out of bounds. People are concerned this might happen at Nebraska with all the red. Is this a legit concern to you, or is this just something that's, I don't want to say fun to talk about, but fun to debate?
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if it happened, but also like there's like red on white. White stands out. Look at the white line. Look at the white line. It stands out. Like if you're out of bounds, don't blame the field. Don't blame the field.
So Dave Feet felt sorry. All right, he writes for some columns on Nebraska Sports. Does a really good job. He said on Twitter, "Friends, can we please stop with the worrying about the red out of bounds area? There's only been one instance of a player being confused by this ever, Purdue 2024. So that's the only one he can remember as well," he said. "I know Nebraska has lost in some ridiculous ways." Oh, man. I was feeling all right until I know he's trying to prove the opposite, but we have lost in some ridiculous ways. So he almost made me feel worse with that line right there. But not every change is a harbinger of doom. I feel like that's a fair point. Not everything is doom and gloom. Although, if you're a Nebraska fan, you do tend to wonder about that just a little bit. I don't know. For me, like basketball courts. The court is. Am I wrong in thinking that the court's basically the same, and then you just got like black baselines, out of bounds lines?
But I guess it's more.
You're not really trying to catch a ball in the corner.
In the NBA, you're like, okay, if I get too close to that fan sitting in the $5,000 seats on the court side there, I guess that's out of bounds.
Only 5,000?
Whatever.
Depends on what the game is.
Depends on what the game is. That's true, yeah. I don't know. I guess that's maybe their distinction, though. But yeah, that's a good point.
Maybe not the perfect comparison, because again, you're not trying to catch a ball in the corner of the court very often. But
we see guys dive into the crowd every once in a while in an NBA game.
You know what's interesting? I don't like the alternate uniforms a lot. I'm not a big fan of that. I always liken it to, hey, Oregon did what they had to do, and they did a phenomenal job with it. It became their brand because they were given throw-up colors. I mean, green and yellow, those are throw-up colors. They did a phenomenal job. It's its own unique thing. I feel like when you watch an Alabama, when you watch some of these iconic brands, when you watch these, like, we don't need to change who we are to try to fit in with the cool kids, because win some more games will help this logic. But I've always thought what we've worn for years doesn't need to change, because we don't need to fit in with the cool kids, because we can do our own thing because we're already there. Now, we got to win more games on the field. That would help that a little bit. But so I'm not always the biggest fan of gigantic changes, but I'm actually excited to see how this end zone looks. And
Yeah.
I don't think it's the harbinger of doom either.
Is it going to be the same as what the practice field is right now? Because they did those, right? The indoor one?
Yes. Well, they did do the indoor one. I think it actually is going to be the same as the Hawk Center, inside the Hawk Center, the indoor practice field. Yes, I do think so. I'm actually kind of curious to see. I wasn't a big fan of the dark, like every 5 yards that we had about 10 years ago, mostly when Pelini was here, it was like dark turf, light turf, dark turf, light turf.
Ooh, no.
I personally wasn't crazy about that. I know some people who really liked it. Okay, again, I'm a little bit, I don't want to say cantankerous because I'm 41, I'm not old, but I'm kind of like, I don't always like new things when it comes to Nebraska. We just need to win more games, and that's really the biggest thing that needs to happen. But I'm kind of excited to see how this looks, and just maybe I'll hate it, maybe I won't. I
like these small additions to Memorial
Little
Stadium
tweaks.
instead of just closing one side of it, or
little tweaks.
whatever they were going to do originally. But I think this is a better way to improve Memorial Stadium.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, when we come back, the college football playoff for this upcoming football season is going to look significantly different with one major change that it did a year ago. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Go Hog Wild Pit Barbecue. It's $5.99 barbecue time. Hurry to Hog Wild for a complete barbecue meal that's only $5.99. Get a one-meat sandwich loaded with our award-winning barbecue, plus your choice of a classic side and drink for just $5.99. Upgrade your sandwich to beef brisket for just $1 more. Join us for lunch or dinner in Lincoln at 3210 Cornhusker Highway. Order online at GoHogWild.com. But don't be late, we close at 8.
Your sprinklers are watering the street or flooding your backyard. If you're on a list that doesn't exist, it's time for Judson Irrigation. At Judson Irrigation, Lee or Lacey or Judson will make an appointment. You pick the time and they'll be there to fix your sprinkler system. Now that's service, a dying art these days.
Keep summer green. Call Judson Irrigation 402-420-6277 or judsonirrigation.com.
Garage doors can break down or quit working at the worst times. At Doors Plus, they understand that a broken garage door sometimes means repair and not replace. Sometimes, all you need to make your door like new again is a few bolts, a realignment, or even a new balance. Trust the pros at Doors Plus to handle your garage door repair the right way so you can get on with your busy schedule. Visit them online at DoorsPlusLLC.com or give them a call today at 402-590-5800. Doors Plus. Garage doors and more.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
Your Lincoln forecast for today. We'll see a chance of scattered showers throughout the day with light winds. An afternoon high near 66. Tonight, showers are possible, otherwise cloudy skies, a low near 52. And tomorrow, a chance of showers throughout the day, otherwise mainly cloudy with a high near 70. I'm meteorologist Kyle Becker for 93.7 The Ticket. And theticketfm.com.
Select Plumbing and Utility has been serving Lincoln and the surrounding area for 14 years, and they're not slowing down. Select Plumbing and Utility handles all your plumbing needs from faucets and water heaters to full renovations, and they can even help with your heating and cooling needs. They're also Lincoln's underground experts, repairing and replacing broken underground water and sewer lines since day one. Contact Select Plumbing and Utility today at 402-560-6197, assuring excellence in every situation, opportunity, and challenge. That's 402-560-6197.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Copple Chevrolet GMC, and they're having the biggest hail sale they've ever had. A huge opportunity is at your front door right now. Some of these cars we're fixing, some we're not, and some it's totally up to you. New Sierra starting at $15,000 off list. New Canyons at $8,500 off list. New body styles on the Acadias, $3,000 off list. You need to hurry as there's going to be a lot of people heading to Louisville. Check us out at copplecars.com. Stock numbers G121492, G1877747, and G1965599.
Prashawn Jackson here for Bauer Underground, who has been serving local contractors and utility contractors all across the state since 1997. When you see the black and white trucks, you know the baddest dudes in the business have arrived. Bauer is currently looking for equipment operators, laborers, diesel mechanics, and aerial linemen. Join the brotherhood built on hard work, authentic people, and pedigree of success. Bauer, a family-friendly company who reminds you, go Big Red!
Support Matt Talbot Kitchen and Outreach on Give to Lincoln Day. Your gift will be received by a portion of Lincoln Community Foundation's matching fund. Homelessness is a complex problem facing our community. By working together, we can find solutions. Your donation for Give to Lincoln Day moves us closer to ensuring that everyone in Lincoln has a safe place to sleep at night. Because of your generosity, hope lives here. Give anytime through May 29th at givetolincoln.com.
Your home is your empire. Protect it with Empire Fence. Get a free instant quote with the online estimating tool at empire-fence.com. See an upfront estimate with no hidden fees. An Empire Fence can provide privacy and improve the appearance of your home. Keep kids and pets in or out of your yard. Increase security and add value to your property. Visit empire-fence.com now to view the stylish and maintenance-free possibilities for your home and get a free instant online quote. Let Empire Fence protect your empire.
Have you been injured in an accident and don't know where to turn? You need an attorney you can trust to handle your case with professionalism and compassion. The attorneys at Liberty Law Group understand that a call to an attorney is a call for help. If you've been injured, we want to help you. Liberty Law's experienced attorneys are committed to the pursuit of justice for those injured. Call Liberty Law Group and find out how we can help get you the compensation you deserve. Call 877-42-LIBERTY. 877-42-LIBERTY. Liberty Law Group. Trial attorneys you can trust.
Rosie's Sports Bar and Grill, open for lunch and dinner at 1501 Center Park Road, just south of 14th and Highway 2.
This is the Adam Carriker Show on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. About 20 minutes or so left in this program today, the Adam Carriker Show. All right, check out all things The Ticket at theticketfm.com. Social media, Facebook, YouTube, podcast platforms, Amazon Prime, or simply turn your radio dial to 93.7. The college football playoff, it has been approved for this upcoming year. Okay, this upcoming year, we're going to stay at 12 teams. The following year, we're going to go to 9,422 roughly. All right, the 12-team college football playoff will move to a straight seeding model this fall. So basically, what's going to happen is the conference champs automatically are still going to get in. The ACC champ, the Big 12 champ, the SEC champ, the top-ranked G5 team, and the Big 10 champ. But once you're in, it goes by your ranking. So just so you know how this would have looked a season ago, Oregon would have been number 1, Georgia number 2. That doesn't change. What changes? And yesterday, when I thought that Penn State would have been 3, Notre Dame 4, it's because I completely omitted Gag Me U. Because technically, Texas, you're looking at me like you don't know what Gag Me U is. Gag Me U is Texas, Case.
Yes.
You need to listen to the show more often than you know that. But Gag Me U would have been the 3rd seed. I just tend to block them out of my mind. That's why I didn't bring them up yesterday. So it would have been 1 Oregon, 2 Georgia, 3 Texas, 4 Penn State. And those would have been your top 4 seeds with the first round bye. As opposed to, it was Arizona State, it was Oregon, Georgia, and then it was Arizona State and Boise State last year. Okay. So that's how the top 4 buys would have looked a season ago. Before I dive into how it would have looked last year under this current format that we're going to have going forward for next year, yes, the turf inside Memorial Stadium will look the same as the Hawk Center currently does with the red end zones and inside and outside the boundary lines. Okay. So our first round matchups last year, had this been the seeding format last year for the 12-team college football playoff, would have been number 5, Notre Dame hosting the number 12-seeded ACC champs, Clemson. Now, Clemson was the 12th seed anyways. They just went to Texas instead. Now, in this format, Texas gets a first-round bye. The 6-11 game would have been Ohio State taking on the Big 12 champs, Arizona State in Columbus. The 7-10 game would have been Tennessee versus SMU. So Tennessee probably would have moved on to a round 2 matchup. Under this format, Indiana-Boise would have been the 8-9. Indiana would have hosted Boise. So that's how it would have looked a season ago. Basically, instead of Boise getting the first round bye and Arizona State getting the first round bye, it would have been Texas, would have been Penn State, and that's how some of those matchups would have changed. Now, let's kind of project how the second round would have been. Obviously, Oregon, Georgia, Texas, Penn State are going to move on because they get buys. They're sitting at home. They're not going to lose. Okay. I honestly predict that Boise would have beaten Indiana.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think Boise looked better against Penn State than Indiana did against Notre Dame.
That would have been great. See them.
I'm just going to say Boise.
Yeah.
I could be wrong. I don't care. Bye, Kurt Signetti. All right. Tennessee probably beats SMU. Ohio State probably beats Arizona State. Notre Dame probably beats Clemson. So your round 2 games would have, and they haven't addressed if they're going to reseed after each round. I'm just going to pretend that we reseed.
Yeah, that's interesting.
So I'm just going to pretend that we reseed. So it would have been Oregon hosting number 9, the lowest seed that's still left alive, Boise at home in Eugene, which would have been a rematch from earlier that year. Ashton Genty went off and made a lot of money in that Oregon game.
Yeah.
It would have been, it would have been Georgia versus Tennessee, which again would have been another rematch from the regular season. Georgia beat them. It would have been Texas versus Ohio State, which we did see, but this time it would have been in Austin. Well, I digress. The second round of the playoffs is still bowl games. All right, so it's not. I want it to be on college campuses, but it would have been bowl games. So I apologize. It would have been a bowl game just like it was.
Yeah.
And then Penn State, Notre Dame, just like it was in a bowl game.
Okay.
All right. Who knows how these things would have played out, but that would have been your second round matchup. We can keep going on if we want, but a lot of these games we actually saw. Okay. Maybe Oregon beats Boise State. I think Georgia probably beats Tennessee. Tennessee looked so bad against Ohio State. Part of that was Ohio State was really good. We watched Ohio State beat Texas, and we watched Notre Dame beat Penn State, so I'm not going to change the outcome of those games. So the Final Four, if we're projecting here, which we are, would have been number 1 Oregon, number 2 Georgia. All right, and if we're reseeding, then the next highest seed of the remaining teams would have been Notre Dame. So Notre Dame would have played Georgia. It's matchups we got anyways. It would have been Notre Dame versus Georgia, okay, which we got in the Sugar Bowl last year. Ohio State versus Oregon, which we got in the Rose Bowls. Those would have been your Final Four teams. I do think Oregon plays a lot better because they would have had a game under their belt rather than a 25-day layoff before they played Ohio State.
Thrown in an angry Ohio State team.
Yeah. So I'm still not going to change the outcome of that Rose Bowl. So I'm going to say Ohio State beats Oregon because they did in the bowl game. I just think it's more competitive because Oregon hasn't had that gigantic layoff. And, oh, man. Let me see here. Notre Dame and Georgia. Now, maybe Georgia, without that gigantic layoff like they had last year, maybe they actually beat Notre Dame because they're more ready to play rather than sitting at home for 25 days. And obviously they were practicing, but you get my point. But I'm not going to change the outcome of the Sugar Bowl. Notre Dame did beat Georgia. I think maybe it's a little bit closer. Like it was 20-3 at one point. I think Georgia tried to make it a little bit more interesting. So your national championship game's probably the same, Notre Dame, Ohio State, with Ohio State probably winning. Now, who knows how this changes outcomes of games because certain teams now have home field. Certain teams now have buys that didn't. Certain teams, didn't have the bye, and you could argue that hurts them in their first playoff game. So I don't know. What are your thoughts on this?
I mean, all that I've personally learned from the playoff format so far is that if you get a bye, that's not good. Track record says if you get a bye, that's not good. 0 for 4.
Yep.
So if you can just get your coattails kind of into the playoffs,
you want that 5th seed.
That's probably your best spot. It's like a snake draft almost, when you kind of want the middle of the pack.
Yep. You want that 5th seed. The 5th seed also is going to play the 12th seed. Oh, well, now, because last year, under that format the 5th seed played the 12th seed, which everybody thought was going to be the G5 team. And you're like, we want that. And then you were going to play, because the top 4 conference champs had the top 4 seeds. Last year, you were going to play the weakest of the Power 4 conference champs. That was like the perfect spot to be. It's still a good spot to be because you got a higher seed, but you're going to avoid a gigantic 20-plus day layoff. So it's still not a bad spot. But I do think it looks a little bit better than it did a year ago. When we go to 14, it sounds like a 16-team playoff. A bye will now become a positive thing because instead of a 25-day layoff, in order to get all these playoff games in, and still, unless they want to end the season come February, which is what we're kind of working towards. If I remember, I think it was January 22nd last year. Okay.
Ugh.
I think they need to start the playoffs the following weekend after the conference championship games or the play-in games, since we don't know if we'll have conference title games in a couple of years. They should have the play-in game weekend, if that's what it's going to be called. That's a weird name for it. But the play-in game weekend, then you start the first round of the playoffs, and if for some reason you've got a bye, you get a bye that 1 week, but you're back playing 2 weeks later. Now, all of a sudden, the bye helps you. You get healthy. You get refreshed. You don't have to win the extra game. Or maybe if there's 16 teams, so nobody gets a bye, and you don't have the conference title game, technically, if you're a 1 or 2 seed in the Big Ten SEC, that is your bye before you head into the 16-team playoff, which hopefully starts right after conference championship weekend, play-in game weekend, whatever you want to call it, because hopefully they're playing the playoff games each and every week all the way up until January 1st or mid-January. Hopefully we wrap the season up sooner, and hopefully because you kind of lose momentum when you take those weeks off in December. Hopefully they start playing the games right away like the NFL does, and people are amped up and ready to go without this big lull. What do you think?
Yeah, I think that's totally fair. I think taking like a massive amount of time off, kind of like Oregon had, I think that hurts. I think it hurts. I think it's better to just kind of flow right into it, and then and just leave it there.
All right. Anything from the text line? Any more hot dog chatter? Ketchup chatter?
Nothing much.
All right, if you still have more thoughts, hot dogs on ketchup, disgusting mustard on ketchup. If you got weird off the wall things, like somebody said, would they say grape jelly? I mean, I'll try
Grape jelly.
it. I'm not very optimistic, but I'll try it.
Someone else chimed in and said Dijon mustard and sauerkraut.
It's got mustard in there. I
can be okay with like the yellow mustard. Not on a hot dog, but yellow mustard I think is fine. But Dijon mustard I do not like personally.
So I stared at you like that because there's another kind of mustard that's not yellow. I am not a mustard expert.
Dijon
it's just
mustard's
disgusting.
like the darker mustard. I don't know how to describe it.
You've gone into a realm with which I know nothing.
Yeah. If you don't like mustard, you definitely don't like Dijon mustard.
I think it should be illegal. I'm just going to reiterate that. Mustard should be illegal. I'm just saying. I was genuinely surprised that so many people are anti-ketchup on hot dogs. I did not see that
crazy.
coming. I did not see that coming. Have you ever been to Jamaica?
Yes.
Have you ever had the ketchup in Jamaica?
I don't know. I don't think so.
Not long after my wife and I got married, we went down to Jamaica. We were down there for a week. Oh, when I tell you that their ketchup is disgusting, I'm being kind. I tried to eat it for the first couple days because I like ketchup, and I don't know what this is. This is not ketchup. This is like murder in a bottle, and I know it's a bad way to put that, but it was just like, this is terrible stuff. And so I refused to eat it the rest of the time. I actually came back to America in the habit of refusing to eat ketchup. So for like a month, I wouldn't eat ketchup, and I was like, oh yeah, it's good here. I forgot about that. The ketchup in Jamaica, at least, what was it, 15 years ago when we went, whatever it was awful. And it turned me off to ketchup so much, I just stopped eating it for a while as a whole. It was kind of weird.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't have the ketchup when I went to Jamaica, so I can't really say that. But they got some good chicken, that's for sure.
All right, couple of quick updates here. Nebraska is going after like national, highly thought of recruits and players from across the country. What do we get from the text line? Why are you shaking your head like that?
Someone said my ex-wife would put yellow mustard, sauerkraut, and baked beans on her hot dog.
I feel like we're getting into chili dog world now.
Baked beans?
We're getting into chili dog land, I think.
Very interesting. That was Frickin' Lincoln? I think that's how you say it. Frick.
I'm not opposing what he just said. I think now we're talking chili dogs. By the way, I love chili dogs. Okay.
I don't think I've ever had a chili dog.
Oh, what?
Yeah, I don't think so.
Oh, you got to get a chili dog. They're delicious.
I'll have to try one.
All right. So here's some of the guys that have narrowed down these highly touted recruits that Nebraska's going after. They have de-emphasized the state of Nebraska and recruiting in the state of Nebraska. Hey, Matt Rule's got to do what he believes is best. All right. So you look at some of these guys that have narrowed down their list. North Carolina four-star edge rusher Xavier Griffin locks in official visits with Clemson, Michigan, Nebraska, Florida State. So Nebraska's made one of the Final Four for one of the top edge rushers in the entire country. Four-star tight end Lincoln Watkins has changed his official visit schedule to just Florida and just Nebraska. Those two will get visits before his official commitment, which is coming soon. He'll be in Lincoln in June, June 20th to 22nd. By the way, Trey Taylor is going to be back in Lincoln, I believe June 1st. So he's going to be back here soon. Shout out, congratulations, Nebraska head volleyball coach Danny Busboom. Kelly announced on Instagram the birth of her son, Jet, who arrived earlier this week. I want to give a shout out and congratulations to DBK, her husband Lane, and big brother Boone as well. I thought this was kind of interesting. You don't see Wisconsin. We got to head to break. I know we don't see Wisconsin and Notre Dame play a ton, but the 2026 season opener for Wisconsin against Notre Dame has been moved to September 6th on Sunday at Lambeau Field. I like that.
That's cool. College football on a Sunday
at Lambeau Field. I like. Let's see.
Awesome.
Do we have a game time? I don't see a game time here, but I love this.
That's great. And Wisconsin at Lambeau. That's awesome.
I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
All right, last thing before we head to break here. Former Nebraska volleyball captain Merritt Beeson is one of 18 players selected to train with the U23 national team. 12 players make the roster that will represent the U.S. at the NORCECA U23 Pan American Cup, July 25th to August 2nd in Mexico. All right, Merritt Beeson, again, selected to train with the U23 national team. Best of luck to her, the national team. and everyone going forward. When we come back, we got a bunch of brief headlines to hit. We'll round up the week with kind of a Husker sports and sports in general roundup. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more.
Hey Husker Nation, this is Todd Euler, two-time national champion, here to talk to you about Window World Lincoln. At Window World, we specialize in replacement windows, doors, siding, and roofing. Whether you're looking to enhance the beauty of your home or increase its energy efficiency, we've got you covered. And here's the best part. We offer the best for less. Our team is dedicated to providing top quality products and exceptional service at affordable prices. We want to earn your business and make your home improvement dreams a reality. So why wait? Contact Window World Lincoln today at 464-7313 or visit our website at windowworldlincoln.com. Window World Lincoln, where quality meets affordability.
Mike, the insurance company wants us to replace the roof.
Wait, what? I thought everything was fine.
Yeah, it says right here our roof is too old and they won't be able to cover us anymore.
I guess it is 15 years old. Hi, I'm Austin with Roofing Service Company. We help homeowners with their roofing and siding projects. Financing options are available, and we can get you under a new roof no time at all. If this sounds like you, visit roofingservicecompany.com. That is roofingservicecompany.com.
Rashawn Jackson here for Bauer Underground, who has been serving local contractors and utility contractors all across the state since 1997. When you see the black and white trucks, you know the baddest dudes in the business have arrived. Bauer is currently looking for equipment operators, laborers, diesel mechanics, and aerial linemen. Join the brotherhood built on hard work, authentic people, and pedigree of success. Bauer, a family-friendly company who reminds you, go Big Red!
Empower a child today with the Teammates Mentoring Program. Hope is only a conversation away when you choose to share your talent, time, and heart with the child. Together, you can build a relationship based on strengths and chart a brighter future, 1 week at a time. Find out how you can be a mentor by visiting LincolnTeammates.org. Become what you needed as a kid by joining the Teammates Mentoring Program today.
Are you ready for a new opportunity? Check out Sandhills Global. Join a dynamic team where your skills are valued and your career can soar. We offer full-time positions with a 4.5-day work week, competitive pay, excellent benefits, and a positive work environment. From IT and marketing to sales and finance, we're looking for talented individuals just like you. Apply today at sandhills.jobs and take the first step towards an exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Don't wait, apply now.
This is the Adam Carriker Show on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Boom! Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Adam Carriker Show here on 93.7 The Ticket. We have had quite the response. People are very passionate about their hot dogs, Jackson.
They sure are.
Very passionate. And when I tell you that the Twitter discussion was quite entertaining with the one random serious guy, quite entertaining, it really was. I'm still surprised when I forget who put up the poll on Twitter. I'm still surprised mustard beat out ketchup. Ketchup didn't have, there was like 4 options. Ketchup didn't have to win. I couldn't believe mustard actually beat out ketchup, though, in the poll. That was very surprising to me.
Yeah.
All right, a couple of quick final updates. The Birmingham Stallions are signing cornerback Tommy Hill. Hill played college football, as we know, at Nebraska, where he recorded 73 tackles and 5 INTs, had that infamous pick 6 of Shadur Sanders against Colorado. Hill also attended the NFL Combine this year and recently went undrafted. Are you surprised that he was undrafted, unsigned, no rookie mini camps that I know of? Just this guy was talked about, justifiably so, as a first-round talent. And when you talk about having to work your way from the bottom all the way to the top now, are you a little bit surprised of this news that he didn't, there wasn't more for him in the NFL as far as opportunities?
Yeah, I'd be lying if I say I'm not a little bit surprised, especially just with, he's got all the talent in the world, and I know he struggled with injuries. So, yeah, it's a little bit surprised that nobody took a chance on him. I wouldn't be surprised if he's one of those guys that goes into a league like the UFL for a little bit and does super well and then gets that ticket up to the NFL like Kevontae Turpin type guy,
When this guy is so athletic throughout his career here, at times he was at wide receiver. obviously DB. They had him, I think, at one point returning some kicks, at least in practice. And I don't remember if he ever did it in a game or not. He's been here for 3 or 4 years. But I want to say there was a time when he was returning kicks or punts or something at one point, again, at least in practice. Just an all-around athlete. It just goes to show there's a lot of things that go into the evaluation process, all right, from NFL scouts beyond just athletic ability. This is the guy who could have a Kurt Warner-esque type story one day, potentially. Right now, it's kind of the reverse, but you never know what's going to happen. There's a lot to his story yet to be written. All right, Trey Taylor will play in the 7-on-7 tournament June 6th inside Memorial Stadium. I do know he will be back in town as of June 1st. And I was actually set this Mustard Manual, your guide to mustard varieties. And I'm staring at a picture of at least 12 different mustard options.
There's 12.
This is one of the more interesting and disgusting things I think I've ever had the pleasure/displeasure of looking at. But people are very passionate about mustard as well, I'm finding out. So, all right. You got anything before we get out of here, Jackson?
I think we're all good.
All right.
We'll be back on Tuesday.
Yes.
Tuesday, 2 hours.
All right. Happy Memorial Day weekend, ladies and gentlemen. Back on Tuesday. Enjoy your baseball. In the meantime, go Big Red Nose. Remember to throw the bugs.